My nightmares, they were prophecies.
Hello my boys, welcome to the Siege Ballista build guide updated for the year 2024. In case you're new to the channel, I've been playing Siege Ballista build for more than 4 years and I did all the possible adaptations for this. This is an all-rounder build that has great defenses, very cheap to make, good damage. The more dexterity we have, the more totems we can summon here, look here, the more damage we do and the more tanky we become. Now I need to cover fast about the quick changes that we did. With each new league we have patch notes, we have changes. So, in this variation I moved the Timeless Jewel back here for multiple reasons. The biggest reason is that Thread of Hope in large radius exponentially raised up in price. Now it's much more expensive, especially on League Start, and people cannot afford that jewel. And I want to keep this build very, very cheap. That's why we will drop it. So no longer Thread of Hope in large radius, we will drop it. No problem, we still have a lot of dexterity, we still do shit ton of damage, and the build is more cheaper now. Now to compensate that, we will take manually these nodes here that also give dexterity on the small passives. So even if you have a bad Timeless Jewel, you will get a lot of dexterity on the small passives. Like a lot of dexterity. So let's say you don't have any big notable, no problem, you get a lot of small dexterity. This is good on League Start. You will buy the cheapest Timeless Jewel and it will give you nice boost of dexterity. Now because we have all this extra critical strike chance, we also swapped returning projectiles for this game, increased the critical strike damage. We will talk about this in the skill gem setup. The damage is much more bigger in this version. So we have the build cheaper, also a lot of damage. Keep in mind that I will start with the basic setup. This is because there are a lot of new players. So I keep everything simple in this video. And then we will discuss about the upgrades. There will be a timestamp. So talk about how to craft your items cheap so you don't overpay. And all that good stuff. Okay boys, enough talking. Let's jump into it right now. Okay my boys, now let's talk about the items. The core component of this build is this bow here, Iron Commander. Read this line here, Siege Ballista has one maximum number of summon totems for each 200 dexterity you have. Basically here is the dexterity, so for each 200 dexterity we get one extra totem. That's how we can summon this many totems. So the more dexterity we have, the more totems we get. So let's put it here, Iron Commander. The next one is this one, Fractal Tots. Read this line here, increased elemental damage per 10 dexterity. Again, the most dexterity you have, the more damage we do. Try if you buy a Fractal Tots to get one with a good critical strike multiplier roll. So this can roll from 25 to 40. So try to buy one close to 40 if not 40. Next one is Poised Prism. Here again, look for the rolls, try to get good resistances because it's good to have an elemental resistance over cap for any build. Also we have here cold damage per dexterity. Look here my dexterity, more dexterity you have, the more damage you do. Good stuff. Here are the gloves, Hrim Sorrow. And these gloves are very interesting because of this line, 100% of physical damage converted to cold damage. The build as it is does physical damage, but because we're using Hrim Sorrow, now we're doing elemental attacks. And this is important for our gem setups. So this is essential for the build. Keep it simple with Hrim Sorrow. These are very simple even on League Start. They are like 1 Chaos Orb, very cheap. Now let's look here for the amulets. We're using Ascendancy. This gives us flat attributes. Again, look for one with good rolls. Mine is perfect. No, close to perfect, because the more attributes you have, the better. Also this amulet saves you with intelligence and strength. Look, without it I cannot equip of all my gear. So this is amulet, it's fairly cheap. Now it's very cheap, but on League Start there are multiple alternatives. For example, on League Start you can buy a Kiri's Truth Amulet, which is very cheap on League Start. It gives you a lot of dexterity, some critical strike multiplier, cooling strike for free. Just don't activate that precision aura. So you get a level 30 precision aura, don't activate it, don't worry about it. You will just use it for the flat dexterity and critical strike multiplier. So this on League Start is very cheap. You will use it temporarily until you get your Ascendancy amulet later. You can also buy a red amulet, why not, which has life, you know, some flat dexterity, and you can craft some cold damage to attacks if it's possible. This is also a budget alternative. Now let's talk about the body armor, which is brisk swap. Read this line here, increased damage per 15 dexterity. Also gives a lot of good dexterity boost, 50% increased dexterity, and keep in mind that this armor does not have life. This is essential because we have a mastery point here, which says 50% increased maximum life if you don't have life on your body armor. Look here to understand better. So now I have this life. If I remove this mastery, you see, you get a lot of extra life for free. So it's actually a plus that we don't have life on the brisk swap. Good to know. Now let's talk about the boots. Here we have Garukan's Flight. This is very important for the last line. Maximum life per 10 dexterity. Not only that you get good flat dexterity 40 or up to 40, but it gives you a lot of life. Look what happens if I remove the boots. So these boots give me around 1000. They are essential. If you cannot buy these boots on League Start, you will use a simple boot which you have dexterity mode, some life, some resistance, some movement speed. And later you will upgrade to Garukan's Flight. This is for League Start. Now let's talk about the belt. Here you want a synthesized belt with increased dexterity. Yeah, there will be a timestamp in this video on how to craft your rares very cheap so you don't overpay. It's very easy to craft, just trust PoE guide. This is best in slot, you will see the guide on how to craft it. For the rings we'll use synthesized rings. This is best in slot with increased dexterity. So for the rings, here are the options that you can use. This is best in slot with increased dexterity. You can watch the crafting guide in this video. So here, best in slot. You can use cheaper with flat dexterity. These are way cheaper. And of course, if it's League Start, you can buy some simple rings which have some dexterity, some resistance, some life. This is for League Start. Yeah. So these are your alternatives. Yeah. So now for the flask. You want a divine flask with corrupted blood immunity. And the other modifier, I suggest going for instant recovery. So you hit it and you instantly heal. This will save your apps in multiple scenarios, especially for no regen maps. It will help you a lot. Now for the flask, you want a quicksilver flask, you want a diamond flask, you want a sulfur flask, and any defensive flask of your choice. I suggest going with a jade flask because we are having a good dodge chance. Look here. If we check defenses and we activate our auras, chance to evade attacks, 66 here. One moment. If I press the flask, 71, but it gets even better with the Watcher's Eye and you can reach more than 75%. This is the idea. So I suggest going for the Jade Flask if it's possible. Keep in mind that you can roll your explicits. Yeah. So this flask, I roll them with Orb of Alteration myself. Look, so you don't have to overpay on the trade website. Let me check this. What you gonna do? I'll show you how to roll your flask, no problem. So let's say you want to make a quicksilver flask. This is very easy, you just apply some Orb of Alteration and you click it. Just like this. Critical strike chance is useful for the explicit, charge recovery great. Yeah, you click it until you get something useful. This is the idea. Da? Good. Evasion rating, now we apply this. Maximum change. Mwah, perfection. You don't need to buy from the trade website expensive flask. You craft it yourself. It's very easy to craft, man. Then you go to the crafting bench here. And you put this charges reach full. This. And this is how you make your flasks without overpaying. They are very cheap to make. Okay, my boys. Now we talked about the items. Let's move to the skill gems. Okay, my boys. Now let's talk about the skill gems. Let's start with the boots. So here we have dash, second wind, life tap. I'm using second wind on dash because you can dash 2 times very fast. And this will help you in sticky situations. Also for hard bosses. Also I added here blood rage. This is a nice damage boost, especially on League Start. Yeah, good to know. Now let's talk about the gloves. Here we have portal and cast on death. This will save your ass in maps. Let's say you die and the portal will appear for you. So you don't have to walk and lose time in your maps where you died. You just take the portal and you'll get teleported exactly the place where you died. It is a quality of life that is very useful for new Path of Exile players. Here we have automation and steel skin. Yeah, you can activate it here and this will give you this shield here, which will protect you in your maps. It's good to have it on automation. I need to talk about something here, but let's talk about first the aura setup. We're using Grace and Purity of Elements for the auras, but here you want to put an Enlightened support level 3. This is because it will give you some extra mana here that will allow us to trigger automation steel skin. So this steel skin here costs a few mana. You see, it costs 70 mana. That's why you need to use an Enlightened level 3. Even level 2 is fine. So it's good to know. If you don't have an enlightened here, steel skin and automation will not work. Also here I like to use a precision. Level 1, you don't need to level it. Just equip it from Lily and you keep it level 1. Gives you a few critical strike chance and can help you with the Watcher's Eye. You will see you have here attack speed while affected by precision. I like to have this modifier. You know, if you have a level 1 precision here, you can buy this Watcher's Eye. And I forgot to swap here. Yeah. We will talk about the gem swaps also for Sanctums. Here are my defenses with Grace. If you also press the flask, close to 80% chance to dodge. Good stuff, good stuff. Physical damage, it's also big, we have 70% and you also get more from the Pantheon. You will be fine, trust me, guy. This is a very tanky build. Now let's talk about the setup from the bow. Here we have Frenzy, we have custom critical strike support, faster attacks, summon Ice Golem, Frostbite, Life Tap. Very sexy, very nice. It works like this. When you shoot with Frenzy and you crit an enemy, you will resummon the Golem and you also will curse with Frostbite automatically. So this is a quality of life setup 2-button build. You will summon your ballistas and from time to time you will shoot with Frenzy. This will grant you Frenzy charges, will resummon the Golem and will curse the enemy with Frostbite here. Now let's talk about the main setup. Okay, so for all these gems here you can buy them directly from Lily level 1, no problem. But for the main setup you want them leveled up. Especially Siege Ballista. If you buy a Siege Ballista from Lily level 1, the totems will instantly die and they will do 0 damage. So buy it at least 2020. Yeah, if you're poor, buy 2020. So the gem setup is like this. Siege Ballista, Awakened added cold damage. If you're poor, you'll buy added cold damage simple 2020. Here we have faster attacks. In the upgraded sections, we will talk about enhance. So there will be a timestamp in this video. Here we're using Life Tap because our skills cost life instead of mana. Look here. Here we are using increased critical damage support by 2020. Here we're using Awakened elemental damage with attacks. And if you're poor, of course, you'll buy a regular elemental damage with attacks. Now it's good to know that this skill gem at level 5 lets you do elemental reflect maps. Yeah. So this gives you elemental reflect immunity. It's good to know. But let's say it's League Start, you can still do elemental reflect maps, no problem. You will summon your totems, they will shoot 1, 2 times and they will die. You keep resummoning them, because you resummon them very fast because of the Ascendancy. And you can do elemental reflect maps, no problem on League Start. Just don't shoot with Frenzy because you'll instantly die. Check the map modifiers before you run them. Okay, we talked about everything? We talked about everything, now let's talk about the skill tree. Okay, my boys, now let's get into the juicy stuff. Here is the skill tree. Before I start explaining everything here, we need to talk a little about the POB. So here in the POB, I did something very sexy, very nice. You have here the skill tree progression from level 76 to 84 to 92 to 100. This is in order to help players to know the order in which to allocate the points. If you're doing the build now, I explained that you need to have a Templar around level 80. So these are a good starting points for you. Just keep in mind that you have this at the bottom and you can switch to see what to take. Also in the POB there is a note section, which I talked about common mistakes, some very useful links, and I will add more stuff as I'm doing this guide here. Now let's go back here into the game, and I will explain in case you're new to this build concept or maybe you're new to my channel. Okay, let's start first with these jewels. Here we have fluid motion. Basically it transforms the strength nodes in the area into dexterity. It's very useful. Even here we have some dexterity, good stuff. So here we're getting 24 flat from the jewel, buy one with a good roll, and here we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 strength, 80 strength here. So it's essential to put one here and also take this node here which gives 30 flat dexterity. This you will take even on League Start. This jewel it's cheap even on day 1 of the League Start. Good stuff. Here we are using multiple of these jewels, 24 here, 24, and also transforms the strength nodes in the area. These are very good. Keep in mind in the POB to see the order in which to allocate this, so don't rush to take them right away. Here we have a keystone, which is very important. Basically, it will cap our spell suppression for free. One moment. Let me show you. If we remove this, we don't have spell suppression. If we take this, Bam! We have free spell suppression with just 1 point allocated. Basically, the more dexterity we have, the more chance to suppress spell damage we have. And since we're dexterity stacking, we're getting spell suppression basically for free with this build. Now you understood this. Here it's another keystone, it's point blank. You want to put your totems closer to the hard bosses because they will do 30% more damage. Yeah? So when you're doing a map boss or harder boss, you will place your totems closer to the boss because they will do 30% more damage, which is huge. Good. Now let's see something else to explain. Let's explain the masteries. Yeah. Here you want to take this one because it will give you poison immunity. Look here. Immune to poison, yes. Very self-explanatory, 1 point to take, so good, so nice. Here you want to take this one to summon 2 totems instead of 1. This is because we have so many totems that you want to summon them very fast. If you don't take this mastery, which is mandatory, it will have a hard time in your maps to clear the map. So this is mandatory, should be always taken. Let's see here. Here we have 5% increased attributes. Again, it's mandatory. Increased projectile damage per 16 dexterity. And because we have a lot of dexterity, it makes sense to always take it. Here you want to take critical strike chance when you summon a totem. Good. Here you have 25 critical strike multiplier against unique enemies. Yeah. Now let's explain the jewels. Here is one of the most important parts. It's a medium cluster jewel which has sleepless sentries. If you buy such a jewel, make sure it's 4 passives or 5 passives. Don't buy 6 passives because you will use 1 extra point. You will waste it. So either buy 4 passives or 5 passives. Ideally, you want one with Ancestral Reach and Sleepless Sentries. Yeah. This gives you onslaught when you summon a totem. Look here. So you have permanent onslaught. This gives you more movement speed, more attack speed, good stuff. Good stuff. Here you want to put a split personality with dexterity and maximum life. Yeah, this gives you some extra bonuses. If it's League Star, don't worry, use a regular jewel like this one here, which has flat dexterity, some maximum life, maybe some damage nodes also. Yeah, you can use it here, pretty cheap. Here is the Timeless Jewel. Yeah, for the Timeless Jewel, look for one that gives on the notables dexterity. See, I have here 5% increased dexterity, 5%, 5%, so here's some flat dexterity, and good stuff. You know, the idea is you want to buy one which gives a lot of dexterity. If you don't know how to buy Timeless Jewels, I will put in the description of this video some links. Let's say you're a new Path of Exile player, check the description of this video for those links. Yeah, you can find the Timeless Jewel very easy. Good. And here is the Watcher's Eye. The most important modifier is this one, chance to evade attacks while affected by grace. This will make it that we have a high dodge chance. Okay, look here. 74 chance to dodge, with the flask 79. You can even have more, 82, 83, depends on your items. Yeah, the chance to dodge is very important, especially because we have low chaos resistance. This will help you with those modifiers, physical damage taken as chaos. And speaking of chaos resistance, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. There's a Watcher's Eye modifier which gives chaos resistance while affected by purity of elements. And we are using this aura. You can also get chaos resistance on the rings. Let's say you use a Calandra's Touch here and you see more chaos resistance. You get on your rare items chaos resistance, no problem. You can also use an Amethyst Flask. And there's also another trick that I want to show you using a Perandus Pack Jewel. One moment. Okay, here it is. You can put a Perandus Pack Jewel here with chaos resistance. And this will help you to get a lot of extra chaos resistance for free. The problem is that I don't know if this jewel will go core. So I won't talk too much about this. If this jewel will go core, you know that in the future you will place it here because it will give you chaos resistance on all these small nodes. Yeah? So this is a trick that you will do in case this jewel goes core. If it doesn't go core, no problem. I always play my Ballista build on minus 60 chaos resistance and I had no problems. Yeah. So you can, again, you can take the flask, you can take chaos resistance on your rings and belt. You can also take that Watcher's Eye modifier with chaos resistance while affected by purity of elements. Good. You can find all the rest in the POB, and if you have questions, you can join my guild Discord server. There's a dedicated Siege Ballista channel there where I help people all day, every day. Yeah. Now let's talk about Ascendancy, Bandits, and Pantheon. Yeah. So here is the order in which you will take the Ascendancy. This is for the first lab, you will take this one, Pursuit of Fate. This gives you 1 extra maximum totems, and the most important thing, increased totem placement speed. So you'll place your totems very fast. This is very useful. And here it's a broken Ascendancy for this build archetype. You give 5% more damage per summon totems. For those who don't know, more damage, it's better than increased damage. Much more better. It's a multiplier. So here we have 5% more damage per summon totems. So if I have 18 totems, multiplied by 5, so I have 90% more damage. This is nuts. Crazy value. You also get 1% life regenerated per second per summon totem. That's why we have this crazy life regen. Look here. Close to 1000. You can get more than 1000. No problem. And that's why inside your maps you want to summon your totems like this. As you move, you will summon totems. This will help you in multiple ways. First of all, it will have your physical damage reduction always up. You will have a lot of life regen. It will refresh the onslaught. It will refresh the life type. That's why when you move inside your maps, from time to time you will summon totems like this. Yeah, if you wonder how we get so much armor for free, it's from this node here, Iron Mood. 150% flat armor per summon totem. There's also a node here interesting to note, 1% increased movement speed per summon totem. So you get 18% movement speed for free from your totems. Good stuff. Next you want to take this one, Conviction of Power, which gives you permanently 4 minimum endurance charges, 4 minimum power charges. Power charges give you critical strike, minimum endurance charge gives you elemental resistances for free, and some extra physical damage mitigation, 60% to be more exact. And for the last lab, sadly we don't get a lot of benefits, but you can take this one, Divine Guidance. This will help you with the mana here for the automation steel skin, and it also gives you a little damage boost. Not too much, a little, you know, you can take it later. This is not a priority, you can take it later. It doesn't help a lot. Good. Now let's talk about the bandits. You want to kill all. We kill all the bandits because we need a lot of skill points for this setup here. Good. For the Pantheon here, you want to take Soul of Lunaris. And here you want to take Soul of Shakari. Remember to use Divine Vessels in order to unlock the full potential of the Pantheon. Here and here. Good stuff. Okay, my boys, this is the crafting guide. I will teach you how to craft cheap, the belt, the rings. Very easy. Let's start with the belt first. I will teach you to craft something like this without overpaying. If you will buy this from the trade website, you will pay like 20 times the normal price. But PoE will show you how to do it. Okay, now let's go on the trade website here. Now here is my channel if you want to subscribe. Yeah, you know, that's nothing. Now let's go here. You put here belt. And here you put here rare. Make sure it's rare. Make sure it's not corrupted. Yeah, you put here increased dexterity. You make sure it's implicit. And I like to put here roll 40. There's a good reason for this, especially for new Path of Exile players. And you click search. Now you have here all the belts listed. Good. When you buy this, make sure they don't have catalysts. Look, catalysted belt look like this. Quality attribute modifiers, 20%. You don't want to buy a belt with this. Yeah. Sometimes you will buy a lower roll for the dexterity. Okay, and now I'll buy something. Let me put D&D. Okay, and I will start private message. Oh, I can't. Making video. Video can't talk. Okay, and now we start private messaging to buy a base, and we will craft it. Okay. If they don't answer, you continue whispering. Okay, this guy. As you can see, the base is very cheap. On League Start, this base will be much more expensive, but it gets very cheap as the league progresses. On League Start, you will buy a Stygian Vice, and I will show you how to roll it also. Okay, let's take this. Then I need to put D&D fast, because I will keep getting private messages. Let's take a ring base. Okay, let's buy all the bases now. For the ring, you will do like this. You'll put here ring. Make sure it's rare. You put here corrupted knot. Also, I need to mention that item level is important. Yeah, let's say it's League Start. No, normal item level that I recommend, it's above level 81. If it's League Start, you can put 75. But put 81 here just to make sure that you get good modifier tiers. And here for the ring, you want to put increased dexterity. And you search. Okay, here for the bases, I need to tell you that you want to buy rings that are not unset. This you don't want to take, because it can roll some extra modifiers that are trash. Again, avoid bone rings and unset rings. You don't want to buy that trash because it can roll those extra modifiers that will give you headaches. Okay, so let's buy this one, for example, 5 divine orbs, and we will craft it. 5 device, we go buy. Good, now let's talk about budget alternatives. Let's say you don't have 5 divine orbs, maybe you are a new Path of Exile player and you are very poor, you know, and you want a strong build. No problem, I got you covered. What you gonna do here? You put dexterity, you select this one, you click again, you put again quit implicit, and you put here 18. Very important. And you search. As you can see, we had flat dexterity. You can find cheaper. Now, depends on the time of the day. Usually it's around 40 chaos, 50 chaos orb. This is the normal price. On Lickstar, they are cheaper. Okay, now let's go craft it. The first thing that you need to do is to bless orb. So let's pretend that this was not 50% dexterity, maybe it was 14. You will apply bless orb until you have 15. Same with the ring. Let's pretend it was 18. You apply bless orb until you have 20. Now, the next thing that you want to do for these bases, you will scour them. So these are fresh bases. We want to apply some intrinsic catalyst. This one. This will bump up the dexterity even more. See? More dexterity. Now we go to the second phase. We will take essences, and we have here deafening essence of sorrow. It needs to be deafening. This will guarantee that you get tier 1 dexterity. Let's take some essences. Let's find the stash tab, let's put it here, and we start the crafting process, which is a very simple process, very simple, my boy. You just put an alchemy orb to become a rare, and then you click on the essence, and you click on this. Already I got a good build. We have good life, some resistances, some dexterity. For the last modifier, you go to the crafting bench, and craft what you need. Here you can all... This one is great, elemental damage with attacks. Do it until it's perfect roll, 32. Like this. Now you check the modifiers, how many you have. You see, I have 5 modifiers. This means that I can exile slam and pray that I get something useful. Armor, why not? I'm gonna take it. Just like this, I crafted very cheap the belt. If I was to buy this belt from the trade website, it will cost me around 8 divine orbs. And I made this belt under 100 chaos orb, very fast. This is the same process we will apply for the rings. Let's craft this ring. You take deafening essence of sorrow and you click it. Oh, this is good. We have flat attributes with dexterity, cold damage to attacks. Sadly, we don't have life, but you can risk it. You can put Orb of Annulment. This one erase 1 modifier. We want to erase physical damage, maximum fire, maximum energy shield, or fire resistance. No, we didn't have luck. No problem, we continue rolling. Let's check this one. You got the idea. You click it until you're happy with the modifiers. You can also play with Orb of Annulments. Maybe like this. Yeah, let's craft this. We go to the crafting bench.
Do what you must and leave me in peace.
Here you can put, if you need elemental resistances, sure, you can put some elemental resistances. Maybe you need the Chaos resistance for some reason. You have here Chaos resistance, or maybe you want attributes. All attributes. This will give you more dexterity. Depends what you need. You have 5 modifiers. You can also put an Exalted Orb. Good. Some resistances too. And I crafted this ring again under 100 chaos orb. You don't need to overpay. Now let's craft this bad boy here. You apply Deafening Essence of Sorrow until you're happy with the modifiers. Already this is a good ring. We have life, dexterity, great. But you can click more. Maybe you need some intelligence also. Depends what you need. Man, you got the idea already. Let's try it some more. This is a very fast process and it's good to know. Because I hate seeing new players getting scammed on the trade website. You know, they overpay like shit. After you're happy with the modifiers, usually you want life, some dexterity, you go to the crafting bench and you see what you can craft. Here I recommend going for flat added cold damage. Because we have a lot of increases effects, it's good to have flat cold damage.
Disappointing.
Like this. This is a good ring. You can also exile slam. We didn't have luck, but it's good. Why not try your luck? Maybe you get something good. Yeah. And this is how you craft a good ring. Remember that you can craft your flask also. You don't need to buy them from the trade website. Very easy. Let's take another example. Let's take a quicksilver flask. Let's put it here. Okay, you just spam Orb of Alteration. Very easy, you know, it's an easy process. And you click here until you get something useful. Usually you want more duration, and even this, you know, elemental resistance is overcapped. As I explained, there are Ether of Vault altars, there are map modifiers that shred your resistances. So it's best to have a surplus of elemental resistances. More than enough. Yeah, this is the idea. So this is not a bad modifier. Then you will put an Orb of Augmentation. Orb of Augmentation, you hit it, see what you get. This is bad, you don't want to see reduced effect. So you keep trying, you roll more. Increase duration, good. Now you play this and see what we get. This is useless. This is great. This is a great flask. Remember what I told you, you want to apply some Baubles. How you pronounce this shit? I don't know to pronounce this. You click it. This will make it to last more seconds. And make sure you put the bench enchant when charges reach full. So don't press it. Okay, let's move on. Okay, my boys, now let's talk about the upgrades. How we can push further this build for a lot of damage. First thing, which is the biggest of all, let's take the Siege Ballista gem. At gem level 22, you get one extra totem, which is huge. It's huge. It's a multiplier for your Ascendancy and all that other passive nodes that we have. Risk Wrap with +1 socketed gems corruption. This skill gem will get to level 22. As a matter of fact, let's do the swaps now. I will swap all the gems inside the new Brisk Wrap. Yeah. And now let's put it here. So instead of summoning 18 totems, I can summon 19. One more totem. Another huge upgrade that you can do is replacing faster attacks with enhanced level 4. Which, by the way, is socketed inside such an armor, it will get enhanced level 5. So this gives 32% extra quality to Siege Ballista. And this is big. They reworked how quality works on Siege Ballista, so now we're getting 5% increased attack speed per maximum totem. So let's see how much we get. We get 5 attack speed and we can summon 19 totems. This is close to 100% increased attack speed just from the quality. Now look what happens if we have here enhanced level 5. Siege Ballista will have 13% increased attack speed per maximum totem. And this translates to 30 multiplied by 19. You get 250% increased attack speed for free if you put here enhanced level 4. So this you can do it later. It's a huge damage boost. I repeat, this is a huge damage boost. Another thing that you can do here is getting corrupted items. For example, corruption on the gloves. The most useful corruptions are attack speed and critical strike chance, or you can get both if you're rich. Here you can get +2 aura gems. AOE gems, aura gems, they're fine. Both work fine. Yeah, you can also bless up the implicit to perfect. As you can see here, you get better rolls. Let me think. You can get synthesized rings, which are best in slot. So instead of using these ones, with maybe you're using shitty ones, now you can use 7% increased dexterity, like here. No problem. Let me think what you can do. If you're planning doing Sanctums. Okay, so here is the swap in case you're doing Maven Arenas and Sanctums, especially on League Star. You can pump a lot of damage with this build if you do like this. You will replace Hatred with Grace. You will put Barrage and replace it with Enhance. And you will buy a Watcher's Eyes that has Hatred modifiers. Usually flat added cold damage and damage penetration, or increased damage while affected by hatred. These are the cheaper modifiers. And you will replace it with the Watcher's Eyes that you had for your mapping. Yeah. So instead of putting this, we put the hatred ones. And now you can run Sanctums. And this build will destroy Sanctums, especially after 2000 dexterity. So you don't need to have, like me, 2200. Even if you have 2000 or 1800 dexterity, it's fine. This build pumps a lot of damage. I call it Map Destroyer. It can do all the side content in this game inside your maps. Tier 16 maps, let's be clear. Yeah. And these are the upgrades that you can do. I hope I didn't forget anything. make sure to anoint your amulet. Here the best installed is Shaman's Dominion. It will give us more critical strike chance and critical strike multiplier. And I need to stress that I wanted to make this build fairly cheap. As a matter of fact, you can make this build an excellent map destroyer on under 5 Divine Orb budget. But keep in mind there are some special items like this armor, for example, or that simplex amulet with damage per dexterity and flat dexterity increase, and that will bump your damage a lot. The only problem is that these items are very expensive. And my build here, you can do it again for 5 divines, 10 divines, and it's a huge power creep. The old Siege Ballista build is a glass cannon, means that it has close to 0 defenses, and it's mega expensive, like 1 mirror, 2 mirrors of Calandra to make. So stick to my variation because you'll have a good time. Okay, my boys, I hope you find this guide very useful. Go make this build, especially if you're a sucky boy and you want to have fun in Path of Exile. Make my build here because I played it for a long time. And this is the perfect build that you'll ever play. You can also league start with it. Hit me up on the Discord channel if you have questions. And enjoy the rest of the day. Good luck!